Hey everybody, are you a Canon DSLR shooter and you're thinking about upgrading to mirrorless? I have gotten to play with the R5 Mark II for the past few weeks and it is so amazing. So I personally am coming from a 6D Mark II. I use the 6D Mark II. I love the 6D Mark II. I've very rarely been disappointed in the 6D Mark II, and I'm slow to upgrade my gear. Using this one has been a true treat because it allows me to play with some of the more advanced features that Canon offers. Number one, the autofocus. The autofocus on this camera is amazing. Tracking is fast. The face tracking and eye tracking is super good. It even tracks the back of people's heads like no problem. I've very much been impressed by the autofocus. That is by far the most valuable thing I've seen so far in this camera. Number two, it performs very well at high ISOs. Now, look at these photos side by side. This is an image at a low light with a high ISO. I used 6400 on both of these images. First off, we've got the R5 Mark II image. Second, we've got the 6D Mark II image from my other camera. And I'll show you how they compare here. Obviously, we're seeing just a little bit more noise in the 6D Mark II as expected. I'm really glad that this new sensor is performing even better than my old one, because that's often something that I'm looking for with a new camera upgrade. Number three, I really appreciate how they've changed the ergonomics of the mirrorless cameras compared to the DSLRs. So if you're coming from DSLR like me, they've moved some things around. Number one, they've switched where the on-off switch is. It's now on the right side, and that's actually really great because your primary operating hand now has control of turning on and off the camera as well. And if you're a one-handed shooter like me, and you like to just kind of roll around like this, it's very easy to just flip the switch and get you ready to go. Another thing that's really great about this new setup is they've got this little top screen that obviously we had a top screen before, and this one is a little bit smaller to accommodate for the controls, but it allows you to cycle through some of your other settings, which I really appreciate. I also really love this automatic quick switch to video recording. So I can be shooting stills and then decide, hey, I want to take a quick clip of this, tap on the record button, it will record a quick clip of what I'm shooting, and then I tap it to turn it off. Now, I love that. That has actually been one of the biggest game changers besides the autofocus. Next, I very much appreciate the ability to use my lenses with the Canon mount adapter, because obviously I have EF lenses for my 6D Mark II, and I don't want to go out and buy new lenses, although if I could buy new lenses, I would buy the RF 28 to 70. That thing is absolutely incredible. I would buy that in a second if I could afford it and have this camera. So I would definitely not be too afraid of using this adapter. It works fantastically, no issues. I can use all my lenses, and that's a huge selling point. One thing to note about this camera though, it makes the largest files. If you are used to just a standard image file, this is not that. An image that I took out of this camera, one large raw image, 78.59 megabytes. So that's like kind of insane. So if you want a very high quality, high resolution image, this camera will produce it for you. Or potentially you set your camera to small raw because you're not gonna fill up your hard drives and your Lightroom storage that quickly. Now, all in all, this camera has been a real joy to use, and I think it would be a great tool for so many photographers. And if you're one of them, I hope you really love it. If it's not for you and you're still looking for the right camera, feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to give you some advice on what might work for your type of photography.